This is a decent hand in the cutoff, ace, 5-6 deuce, double suited. Obviously it's a lot better hand in pot limit, high-low, but it's totally fine for opening in your cutoff, with your cutoff range. I would advocate raising more than less, because you don't want to be called or 3-bet from the guy behind you. So yeah, I'd advocate going full pot with this hand, and let's see how it pans out. Okay, when you hit a flop like this, it's a bit of a conundrum, if that's the right term. We've hit a decent draw with the backdoor hearts and the 5, the ace, and to a lesser extent the deuce. Give us some semblance of a hand. We are against a player who's playing 57% VPIP and 3.3 aggression. I'd advise against c-betting against these guys. If they're in the right mood or the wrong mood, depending on your point of view, they're going to start wanting to get it in with 7, 8, 9 with backdoor clubs and things like that. And when you do check here and you do make the straight, your hand is somewhat disguised. So we don't want to lose our equity for our 5s, our aces, and maybe our deuces that are probably good, and of course our straights. And we want to disguise our hand a little bit. So with that in mind, I think checking here is the optimal play. And hopefully that's what I go ahead and do. I do go ahead and check. Here we do hit one of the cards that we've talked about, so now it becomes a consideration of sizing. I kind of want to keep him in the hand here, to be honest. I'm pretty happy with my hand. He plays a loose range, and he's probably just a loose player. He might check call me as weak as an ace. I don't mind. I think too many people fear leaving their flush draws in. I don't mind leaving his flush draw in the hand. I'd like it even more if my hand was like ace 4 or ace 7 and the 4 or the 7 of spades was going to really hurt him. But I don't mind leaving him in the hand when he's possibly a slightly weaker player and we've got position. So here I think, betting anywhere between 45 and 60 is fine. You do still have to be aware that you're going to be check raised some of the time, and then you're going to have a bit of a tough decision. I'd probably take one barrel of the check raise and see how he reacts on the river, see if I can improve to a full house or a straight. Yeah, so with that in mind, I think betting 45 to 60 is optimal, with the intention of calling the check raise, with the intention of betting, obviously aces, 4s. I think I'd still like a small bet on like a 9, a 10, once you get into jacks, queens and aces. But given that he didn't 3-bet pre-flop, maybe he doesn't have ace jack, ace queen, ace king. But that's roughly what I'd be doing on those rivers, and obviously checking down spades, even if I make a straight, which incorporates spades. I'd just still show that down in position. Let's deal with queens on the bottom left, table number 3. I've been thinking a lot about hands like this. This doesn't actually go to a flop, but I wanna talk about that hand. I'll take it back a step so we can look at the precise hand. So the particular queens we've got here are queen, queen, 7, 8, and as people 3-betting rundowns becomes more and more heavy and a point of focus that we're all having to deal with, hands like this really crush people. And this doesn't mean to say that you can start going and 4-betting them with abandon, but they play really well, and I don't mind building a pot at all with this hand. I'm still going to flat call when pretty much anyone 3-bets me, even if a player of best player 1-1-1's characteristics with 20% 3-bet. I've got a fair bit of history with this guy. Well, I think of history, in case you've seen 1956 Mike bouncing around a few of the other networks, that's not actually me. He was one of my first favourite opponents, and I borrowed his name off him just while I think of that. But yeah, so I'm not going to start 4-betting queen, queen, 7, 8, but when people are 3-betting, I don't know, 6, 8, jack 10 double suited, and we've just got them absolutely crushed. And, if they've got a double-suited rundown, which is based around a queen, well, we've got him murdered as well. So I really like bloating pots with these hands, especially against people that are 3-betting, 8 to 12% pre-flop, and I just feel building pots with these kind of hands, it leads you to good places.